You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy, where we want to solve a particular problem involving assembly drawing. Now, if you look at the screen, we have a bearing here that has been disassembled, it has been splitted. We call it the exploded diagram of a bearing, and we are told to what? To assemble the different parts of the bearing, right? Now, the first thing you have to do is to write out your part list, and you write the part name, the amount, the materials that are the components that are involved in this bearing. Write them out. Like the first one here, we have what's called the anchor bracket. Now, if you look closely, look at the top here. This symbol here is telling us that what it is in third angle projection, meaning that this you're seeing here is the plan of the anchor bracket, right? And this is what the front elevation of the anchor bracket, right? So if you look at this is the anchor bracket, so we only just have one of it as you can see on the screen. So I'm writing one off, and the material it is made up is what is cast iron. So I wrote it out here as you can see. Now this is, like I told you, the plan and the front elevation, right? Now the next thing that we'll be looking at will be the bearing cap. This is the bearing cap here, right? And what we can see here is the front elevation and also the end elevation, right? The front elevation and what? The end elevation, looking at it from this side. Is that okay? And we have just one of it. And we also have what is called the top bearing. The what? The top bearing step is made up of what? Of brass, and we have just one of the component there, right? Looking at it, this is the plan of it. Is that okay? This is what? This is the plan. Now, and we have what is called the stud, the hexagonal nut, and the spring washer. There are two of them. Where did I see that? It is written down here. Also required two of M20 studs, hexagonal nut, and what? A spring washer. So I wrote everything out. So this is the first thing you have to do. First of all, now, now we are told to do some certain things here. We are told before you can even answer any of the questions that was asked, like one of them that says we should draw the sectional view, right? We should ignore that for now. First of all, focus on assembling the component first before we now what? We'll now section it. Is that okay? So let's do that and see. We assemble them. Now, if you look closely, we are told we should draw half full size. So whatever measurement we are given, we should use half of the measurement, right? So let's see. If you look at the screen here, we have what is called the from starting from the front elevation, right? We have what is called the anchor bracket. So I'm going to take my meter rule first of all. I'm going to draw an horizontal line this way. I will draw an horizontal line this way. I'll draw an horizontal line this way. You can see that. That is the horizontal line I'm drawing first of all. Now the next thing is from the point I started from, I'll pick a point. Let's say this is my point here, right? I'll draw a vertical line on that point. I'll do what? I'll draw a vertical line on that point this way. Take it down a little bit. You can see that. So this point here, I'll just call it point A. That will be the reference point. This point here. So we'll start. The first thing you see from here to here is given to be 260. Remember, have full size. So whatever size that we're having here, we'll be dividing it by what? By 2. That's the meaning of what? The half full size. So that is 1:2. So 260 divided by 2 give us 130. And I'll measure 130 here. From 0 here to 130. Right? And again, let's say this is my point A and this is my point B here. Let's put it that way. Now from this point here that I measured 130, I'll take it backward with what? Just like you can see from here to here is 100, which is from here to somewhere around here. So I'll measure 100, so which will be half of it, and I'll be using 50. So whatever measurement, you'll be taking half of it, 50. Right? Now the next thing is, from that point here that I measure 100, I'll still measure 76 backward. So I'll use half of it, which will be what? At 8. That means from here to here, 76, which is from here to somewhere around here. So I'll measure 76, which is I'll use 38 now. Because I'm using half the full size. Right, this is what we have here. So at the ending of this point, I'll draw a vertical line this way. And at this point too, I'll also draw a vertical line away a little bit this way. And at this point too, I'll do the same thing here too, a vertical line. You can see that? Now, if you look closely, at this point from here to here is from here to here. Now the thickness is going in, right? Like it's going in at that point, and the distance is going in is given as what? 6. So I will not use that 6, I'm going to be using 3 because I'm using half of whatever distance is given to me. So from here, this is 0, this is 1, 2, and 3. This is 3 here. You can see that? And I will virtually close it up. Just close it up this way. Paint line first. You can see that? And if you look at the radius here, it is a fillet, right? It's radius of what? Of 6. So I'll use radius of 3. So it is easier for me to use radius of 3 because from here, from this point to this point here is 3, right? From this point to this point is 3. So I'll just mark this point, which is here, and I'll come at that point here. I'll strike an arc this way, and I'll come here also, strike another arc this way. You can see that? So where they meet, I'm going to draw my point here. You can see that? I'll come here also. I am going to do the same thing from this point to here is 3. I will cut here, right? I'll come to this point. I'll strike an arc, and I'll come to this point also, strike another arc. So where they meet, I'm going to draw my chamfer. Consider that. So what I'll just do is the rest is thickened. So I'm going to just thicken the rest from this point. I'll thicken it, and from this point I'll thicken it. Similarly here also I'll close it up. So this is sorted out. We have 24 here. So I'll use half of it, which is what? 12. So from here I'll measure 12. 0, this is 12, this is another 12 here. And I'll take it downward. And I'll take it downward this way. And I'll take it downward this way. Take it downward this way. right? The next thing is this line you're seeing here is more like a center line. That is this line you're seeing here. So I'll just draw it out from here, more like my center line, so I'll know the difference. So taking, and if I've done that, the next center line, that means where this line meets to get another center is from this point here to this point here, which is 184. I divide 184 by 2, we're having what? 92. I'm going to measure 92 from this point here. From here, I'll measure, this is 92 here. Right, so that will be the next center line. I'll just do this. So this is where they are meeting. This center here is the center of this circle that you're seeing here. This center of this semicircle here. Now, from this point, I'm going to measure 236. Right? Now, if you divide 236 by 2, you'll be having 118, right? Because it's half of the distance, so it means that from here to here is 118. Now I need the radius of it because this is the center point, so I need the radius of that 118. I'm going to divide 118 by 2 again, right? Divide it by 2, and I'm having what? 59. So my meter rule, I'm going to measure 59 from 0 to 59. You can see that, and I'll place it at this point here, the center point, right? And I'm going, or this point here, the outside point here. So I'm going to measure 59 up and what? 59 down. That's the other 12 here, called this line here, right? Now at that point, I'll draw an horizontal line that is going to move. This last point here is this point here. So I'll just draw a horizontal line from here straight down. And here I'll just draw a line that is going to go straight down to this way. Is that taken to the other one from here to here? Paint line first. You can see that. Draw it to that point, 24. Now the next thing is, let me first of all deal with this. Now this point, this line here and this line here is this line and this line, right? And we have a radius of what? Of 20 between this point here. So I'll use radius of 20 to get that arc. So measure radius of 20, which will be 10, because you're dealing with half of whatever distance that's given to you. Measure radius of 20 from here to here. This is 10. Right? I need 10. Right? So we're saying 10 like 20. And I'll place it at this point. And I'll strike an arc up and down. And I'll place it here. I'll strike an arc again. And I'll place it here. I'll strike another arc. Then when I come here, I'll be having this way. You can see that, which I am going to thicken. To this point here, I'll thicken it. And this point here, I'll thicken it. You see that? Now the next one is the inner one now. If you check here, the radius from this center point here, which is this center point here, I need a radius of what? Of diameter of 96. That means 96. So I need the radius. So normally we need half of it, which is 90 divided by 2. Right? If you divide 96 by 2, you'll be having 48. Then you divide by 2 again. Divided by what? By 2, which will now be 24. So I need the radius of 24 this way. 0 to what? 24. Right? And I'll place it at this point. To this side here. Is that the key? I'll place at this point to this side here. and I'm going to draw a semicircle this way. I'll taking it. You can see that. Then the next one, um, from here to here is 122, which I need half of it. So 122 divided by 2 is going to give us 61. So I need half of 61. That will give us 30.5, right? So I'm going to measure 30.5 on my meter rule. 0 is 30.5, will be somewhere around here, right? And I'll place it at the center point. Then I'll do the remaining one this way. And here, then I'll now taking that aspect out here, and here too. You can see that. Now, the next one is I'll now close here up this way, and here too this way, right? So the next thing I'll be doing is, after I've done that, is to get the other arc here, and that arc being a radius of what? As you can see, 100. Is that okay? So I'll measure half of 100, which is what? 50. From 0 to 50, as you can see, and I'll place it at this center here, and I'm going to draw a semicircle first of all. Now we'll come back to this. Now if you look at this now, from here to here is 32, right? So I'll measure half of it, which is what? 16. So this is 16 here. And I'm going to draw a semicircle. Draw a straight line from here. Front line first, touch here. I see that. Then from here, I'll measure the thickness between here and here is 20. So I'm going to measure 20 backward, which will be 10. From here to here, it will be 10. And I'll bring it down. I'm going to bring it down to touch this, right? So it's touching here. That again, and the radius from here to here is what? Is 20, right? And I'll use 10. So radius of 10 that I'll use here, radius of 10 from 0 to 10 here, and I'll come to this point. I'm going to strike an arc from this point, mark here, and mark here. You can see that. Now place at that same point I marked. I'll strike an arc, and I'm going to what? Strike another arc. You can see that. So where they meet, I'll get this way to chamfer it. Is that again? I'll taking it. You can see that. So that is what, and I'll come here also. Here is also what? 20 with the same radius. I'll place it here. I'll mark an arc here. Also another arc here. I'll come here, strike an arc. I'll come here, I'll strike another arc also. So where they meet, so I'm going to have this. Right, so I'll just join this together. To that point. Right? So now the next one we'll be doing here will be from here to here. Thickness is also what is 10 from this point to this point, right? And I'll measure 10 from here to here. 0 to 10. And I'll take it down. Right? And here's also The radius here also is what? It's 22. So I'll be using 10. From 0 to 10 here. And I'll place it at this point. I'll cut here. I'll cut here. I'll place it at this point. I'll strike an arc. I'll place it at this point also. I'll strike another arc. So where they meet here, I'm going to draw it out. And I'll now take in from this point. From this point here. I see that. Now the next thing is with radius of 190, half of 190 will be 190 divided by 2, right? And that will give us 95. So I'll use radius of 95. Radius of 95, 0 to 95. And I'll place it. You pick a point just a little bit away from this, where this arc meets. Let's say the arc is meeting here, right? Give a little bit space and you mark a point here. You see that? And also pick a point here to mark somewhere around here, a little bit away from this point too. Is that okay? So place it at this point, strike an arc, and see that? Then you place it at this point also, strike another arc. You can see from here, strike an arc, and from here, strike another arc. So they are meeting at this point here. So where they meet, place it here, and you draw your arc. You can see that. Similarly, from that same point, move to the next point here like this. And you do the same thing too. And use a fake line. So at this point, you can see that. Now I can easily tick in this point. Right? And also this one here is meeting this, let's say at this point. I'm not mistaken. Meeting this at this point. So if I move from here straight down to touch this here. So when I move it, it's touching it here. This is where they're meeting. I continue it. So from that point, the radius there is given as 20. So you measure 10. You measure 10 from 0 to 10 and you place it at this point. You strike an arc up and down. You come here again, start again. After you've done that, you strike another arc up, right? And you come here also, you strike here up too. So from this point here, you cut. And from this point here, you also cut. So where they meet, that will give you the arc that you're looking for. You can see that? And I can now easily tick in this one from here to here, right? And I can tick in this from here this point to this point. Then from here to this point. I see that? Now the next thing that we want to do here is there's something here, right? And it can be at any distance at that point. Is that okay? So at any distance, you just draw your line and First of all, take a perpendicular line, whatever distance you want to take. I can use this. So let's proceed. We'll do that. We'll continue with that when we're done. Mm, Now, the chamfer here is given to be, the radius here is what is 10, so I need 5. So let me just put it out. We have this, I also have this. So we'll do that when we're done. So let's move forward. Now, we have successfully reproduced this guy, but we've not assembled it yet. So we have to what? Assemble it. So how we're going to assemble it? If you look closely, you discover that the completion of this angle bracket is this that my arrow is pointing, right? Because if you look at it, the thickness from here to here is 122, and from here to here also is 122, right? The radius of here, diameter of here is what, 96, and here is also what, 96, right? The total height here from here to here, which is from here to here, given to be 236, and from here to here is also what, 236. So it means that this component is fitting in directly to this component here. So we're fitting in. So the center, they have the same center. So from the center here, which is the same center here, I'm going to measure 38 plus 50, which is what? Which is 88, right? So I'll measure 88. From here, I'll just draw a vertical line from here. I'll just draw a vertical line from here. And I'm going to measure 88. So measure 88. So 0 to 88. So that will be half of 88, which will be what? 44. So I have 38 is 19, right? 0, 1 is 19. And this is 44 here. So that's half of it, right? Or simply you measure 19 and then you measure what? 25, which is the same thing, whatever you want to do. Now I will now draw my vertical line up this way and another vertical line up this way. So what we are told here is that from this point here, that is where it reaches. From here, I'll draw a vertical line this way, 38, and I'll take the other one down to touch here, straight down. The same thing happens here too. This will come down here, 38, and the other one is straight down here. So I'm going to take it there. You can see that. So the next thing we're doing is the thickness from here to here is given to be 4, so I just need 2. So I measure 2 at this point. And I'll close it up. So that's what I need to get that radius. The radius of this is given to be what? 152. And 152 divided by 2 is 76. So I'm going to measure 76 on my meter rule. Measure 76 on my meter rule. 0 to 76. And I will place it where I want it to end. So what I really want from you before I even do that, at this point here, from this center point here, the thickness from here to here is the diameter of the bus, which is given as what? 38. So half of 38, so I'll divide 38 by 4 or by 2. 38 divided by 2 So it means we're looking for diameter of what? 19. Divide 19 by 2 again. And that'll be what? 9.5. So if I divide 9.5 means on my meter rule, I'm going to measure 9.5. This is 9.5 here. And I'll place it at this point here. And I'll measure 9.5, 9.5. Is that taking? 9.5 what? 9.5. Whatever I want to do. So let's now move forward. So I'll take that 36, that 76 I measured. We said the radius here is given to be 152, and I'll give you 76. So I'll measure 76. 0 to 76. And I'll place it where I want it to start and end. Now um, the other one is starting from here. I want it to end here, so I'll place it at this point. Because of, and I'll strike an arc, and I'll place it at this point here. Strike another arc also. So where they meet, will give me the arc I want. So I'll just take it. It's coming this way. You can see that. And similarly, I'll do the same thing here too. So I want it to stop here. I'll place it here. I'll strike an arc. And at this point also, I'll do another one again. First one is this. The next one is this. So I'll just come here. And I'll get in this guy here. You can see that? This is what we have here. Then I can easily bring this outward here a little bit. Then here too a little bit. Then I'll close it up. Right here we're told it is chamfered. So we'll come back to that. Now and here we'll complete it. The circle here is a complete one. So I'll just do this from here. Take it to this point. And just do this. The other aspect is just the section part, right? And I can actually just continue it here. And I'll come back to it. You can see that? So the other aspect here is the section part, which I'm going to do that. Now, if you look at this closely, from here, we have a hole, a through here, and that is for what? For the stud. No, we have two studs. One stud here and the other one here, right? To fit in the components together. So if I look at the stud here, I'll look at, first of all, look at the drill where to pass through. So if you look closely, you discover that the thickness here from the center, you're going to measure 172 from this center line here, which is the center line here. You measure 172 to each of the two the two bosses. So 172 divided by 2, don't forget we only use half of the distance, 86, right? So I'm going to measure half of 86, 43. So I'll measure 43 on my meter rule, 43. And I'll place it here, right? When I place it here, so I'm having the 43 I want, this point, 43, and what? 43. Is that okay? So from that 43 I measure to the center point. Then the other arc you see here, right, is given to be radius of 26. So I need half of it, which is 13. So half of 13, right, give us 7.5. So I'm going 7.5 here to get the drill. 7.5 here. Then I'll come here, 7.5 to the left, 7.5 to the right. All together, I'll come here also, 7.5 to the left, 7.5 to the right. Is that again? So what I will now do is I'll take this down, touch here, and I'll take this down also, touch here, right? And I'll come here to, I'll just take them in. I'll take them in. You to come and touch here, and you to come and touch here. So the height. Now what I need here is the height of that. So the height is given to the what? 50, right? That's given to the what? 50, which is half of the 25. So what I'll do is, this is where the height will be, 50, at this point here. Right? So I don't need this outside one. So let me remove that. Now if you look at it very well, the part is what? Is sectioned according to what is written here. It's sectioned. So when you section it, that is why you're seeing this section here. Normally without sectioning, this is what you have, but when you section it, this is what you'll be seeing. So that is why I will not take, when you section it, you'll be seeing the through of the bolts and the nuts that we have here. Now if you look closely, we have two holes. The holes in this point here is 11, diameter of 11. So since the diameter, you always divide by 4. Or first of all, you say you divide by 2, that will be 11, then divide by 2 again. That will be what? Um, that will be 5.5, right? So I'll measure 5.5 on my meter rule, 5.5, somewhere around here. And I'll place it at the center point here, 5.5. That is what I am going to take in from this point, going straight down, and from this point, going straight down, right? So once I've done that, then this, I will now start sectioning them. So you're going to section everything that you have there. Is that okay? So let's see how that goes. So I'll use my 45 degree to section them. So this, I'll still come back to you, section you two, section you two, then you, then you, then you, then you, then you. Let me complete this. So I can just continue this. So this is what we have here. Now the next thing we have to just do here is stud, right? Because these are two different components and they are temporary. So we have to feed them in with the help of a fastener, which will be a stud and a bolt. As in our part list there, we have what is called a spring, right? A stud, right? And what? Hexagonal what? Knot. So what you just do is project the center point here, this way. Paint line first of all, and the center point too. We want to construct in the stud. And we know the stud is, it says 120, right? That's the, to pass through this hole. So from this hole here, I'll just leave a little space here and I'll take this downward. I'll stop here. I'll come here too. just in between. So this is the stud that we have here, and here also the same thing will happen, right? So I have to take the same measurement here, which is 5.5. This is what we have here. I'll come here and I'll measure that left and right, and I'll just do it here and also here. That again, so I'll just take it out a little bit. I'll take it out a little bit too. You can see that. So there's a washer there, and there's also a bolt and nut there. So what I'll just do is, first of all, let me construct the bolt. I'll take my 60-degree set square, right, and I'll just put it close to it. That again, that's very close. So from that point, I'll measure, since it's M20, so we measure 1.5 by M20, that'll give us 30. So I'll measure half of 30, which is 15, right? And I'll place it at this point, center point, and I'll draw a circle in both sides. Here, and also here. And I'll use my 60-degree set square. I'll draw a line at angle of what? 30 here, and at an angle of what? 30 here. I'll, I'll do the same thing here too. 30 here, and also 30 here. And I'll turn it. Do the same thing here too. 30, 30, 30, 30. Now close it up. Mm-hmm. So this is what we have. And you project, assume the washer is 3 mm up, right? Let's say 3 mm from here to here, spring washer, 0, 1, 2, 3. And just draw your line this way. Do the same thing here too. And it should be on the washer. If I close here up, also close here down, this point 2, this point 2, this point 2, and this point 2. So what I'm just trying to do now is how to construct a bolt and nut. If you don't know how to construct a bolt and nut, you can click on this link here to learn how to construct a bolt and a nut. Now, the thickness that I'm going to be using will be 0.7 times 20. 0.7 times what? Times 20. And that will give us 14. So the thickness from here should be 14. from this point 0 to 14 is what I need here. And I'm going to close it up. Change this to this, right? And also right, and this with this. Now you take your set square, your compass, place it here to this point. You draw a semicircle where it meets here. You do the same thing here too. So at this point, take it to this point here. And when it meets here too, you do the same thing here too. When it meets here too, you do the same thing too. So you come here too, you do the same thing. Semicircle. This meet us here. So where it meets here, do it here. And where it meets here, cover it up. And you also cover it up. I can just join here like this. This will be our washer here. This is what we have, and the bolt, the stud will come out a little bit. And this is here, and this here. Easily just close it up. Is that okay? And we'll do the same thing here too. So when I repeat the same fact here, I will be having this. So this is all you have, right? And now this is the complete assembly of the bearing, right? But we're not told that we should section it. If I will section it, as in section the part what? The part BB from the leaflet. That means you are cutting it through. That means you're going to section all these parts here. Right, just like what you did here. You section all these parts here. You're sectioning what? You're cutting it out. So every part here will be like this, aside from you must not touch this inner circle. So it meaning that we're not going to see this circle here. Right? So we're going to section them. On the next video, I'll be drawing out what is called what? The end view and what? And the plan. But this is how the bearing will look like when you what? You assemble them. This is the stud and the two hexagonal nut, right? So if you find it, watch out for my next video. And if you found it helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share. Thanks for watching.